Game of the Year 2018. Welcome back, guys. It's Geek here. So yeah, I usually do this every year. I'm doing a Game of the Year video. Sometimes I also do a Movie of the Year, but I'm not going to bother with that this time because that's obviously Infinity War. But yes, I do like to do a Game of the Year, and usually it is slightly alternate, so it's not just, oh, you know, the best game everyone thinks is the best game. I usually give something slightly different. And there have been a lot of games in 2018. My standout disappointment was Sea of Thieves. It was empty, boring, repetitive, it was a mess. The water looked nice, but other than that, the game was basically a scam. Moving on from that, here's a few games that I did like. I really liked Spider-Man. I thought it was a fun adventure game. You know, it was basically like an Assassin's Creed type game, but Spider-Man. I really did like web slinging around, and the story was good, and yeah, it was a really good game. I did a playthrough of it if you want to check it out, or check it out for yourself. There's also DLC, which I've not had time to play yet, but I have got the DLC as well, so it keeps the story going a bit and, you know, keeps it fresh and you can keep playing it. I also really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Odyssey. As you may well know, I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. Origins was out the previous year. The DLC was, I played that this year, so really I've played both the games this year. But yeah, Odyssey was really good. I think it was actually even better than Origins. They are a little bit different from the usual Assassin's Creed games now though, especially because you're not really even an assassin in these current, like, previous games, because the assassins haven't really been formed yet and that kind of thing. So you do kind of sometimes run into a battle just with weapons and just slashing everyone up, rather than it being more about stealth. There still is that stealth element, but the games have changed a little bit, and that's okay for games to evolve, but I'm still really enjoying the Assassin's Creed series. My particular ending is on my channel as well if you want to check that out. Now let's come to the two clear favourites for Game of the Year. Now these will both be interchangeably on lists that you've probably already seen, you know, bigger official lists, IGN or whatever you look at, and they are of course God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. Now I'm not going to have either of those as my Game of the Year because, like I say, I want it to be slightly alternate, and it'd be boring if everyone's banging on about this is the best game, and everyone says the same thing. You don't get any variety. And another reason is because I haven't actually played them yet. I've got them, they're both sealed, I've not even taken them out. I had no time because I know they have got a lot in them. They're large games, and playing Assassin's Creed and playing Spider-Man, playing all these games, there's not enough time in the day to fit all these games in when you work. So, you know, I'd love to be able to do this professionally and I could play all these games, but, you know, it's just difficult. So I've not played them yet, but I do believe the hype. I'm sure they are excellent games. So yeah, so what is my Game of the Year? Well, I keep banging on about these other games. Well, I'm going to bang on about one more game before I get to my Game of the Year, and that's because this is a notable contender for my alternate Game of the Year, and this is Detroit Become Human.
Peggy 18.
More and more androids show signs of deviancy. There are millions in circulation. If they become unstable, the consequences will be disastrous.
My name is Kara. This is where it all began. The world's forge. And it will all end.
You do the housework, the washing, you cook the meals, and you take care of Alice.
My name is Connor. I'm the android sent by CyberLife. The company has allocated a specialized model to assist investigators.
My name is Marcus. Just like you, I was a slave.
Thank you, Marcus.
Then I chose to open my eyes, to take back my freedom, and decide who I wanted to be.
So I like this style of game where there's branching decisions that can be made and different things can happen depending on the choices you make. I really like that type of thing. It gives a lot of replayability to the games. Personally for me, I was happy with my playthrough of how I did it, and I don't have to go back and get all the endings, but if you want to, that choice for you is there. And this game touches upon, you know, something that might even be an ethical dilemma later on in our lives when it comes to AI, and if we get these sort of android things helping us out in the home, you know, when do they become human? That's the name of the game. And yeah, the characters in this are great. They're played really well. It's dark, it's gritty, it's fun as well. It's just an excellent game, and I do think you should check it out. If you don't want to play it yourself, I've done a playthrough. So again, I'm, you know, self-promoting. But no, seriously, if you do want to check it out, I've done a playthrough if you don't want to buy it yourself or haven't got time and that kind of thing. And speaking of games where the decisions you make have consequences and different things happen to them, we're now going to come to my actual alternate game of the year. I'm actually a little biased because I'm technically in this game, and technically is the best type of way to be in a game. So yeah, I did a voiceover for this, which was great, and it's actually playing in the background, so you might have already guessed what it is. And it's another FMV, or full motion video game, from Deveki Studios, coming hot off their smash hit, The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, and it is the Shapeshifting Detective. And recently, actually, you may well have heard about the Black Mirror episode Bandersnatch, where you can choose, how you want to progress. You get a binary choice of what you want to do. And lots of people are saying this is like a really unique thing, but it's been around for ages. Movies and shows have had an interactive element before, and notably, obviously, simulation and full motion video games have had that for a while, like decades. So this isn't a new thing, and if you like that type of thing, and you've only just seen Bandersnatch and you've not actually played an FMV game before, I urge you to go and play them, because they're that, but even more. I've got loads currently from the 90s and some from like this year and recently to play. I will try and get like playthroughs of them done at some point, but I just really love FMV. And in this game, it's a murder mystery, which is excellent. You've got to work out who's been murdering redheads, and yeah, it's really cool. Here's a trailer.
Investigations into the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw are continuing this evening. Miss Shaw was found dead in her home at approximately 10 p.m. last night.
I thought she was a bit slutty, to be honest.
You're going to a town called August.
This town is fascinating.
I don't think August is ready for any more strange.
August is basically our Hellmouth.
I'm Violet. Welcome to the guest house.
Find Chief DuPont.
You should probably go and speak to the chief.
Chief Inspector DuPont. What's she told you?
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut.
Look, if it's about the pills, I already know.
He's gonna think you're someone else.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
This
Sam, is it?
is who you are now.
What are you doing in my house? Get out now before I call the police!
Stay the hell away from me.
You have one job.
How did you hear about that?
Don't
Are you a shapeshifter?
get
I thought I saw myself.
caught.
There's a shapeshifter in the guest house.
August's gone crazy tonight.
Do you see what I see?
People look like tiny rainbow outlines.
Just a dead girl who looks alive.
Aliens would be normal right now.
I mean, I wouldn't kill any on whores. I'm not Jack the Ripper.
Sam.
I'm going to kill you, though.
I want to go back in time. I want to make better choices.
I hear the chattering of teeth and the glee of insects waiting to feed on me.
Now, the game's not perfect. There are a couple of nitpicks. Personally, I'd like to see, especially if they make a third game, which they are saying they're going to be doing, more point-and-click sort of elements to it, or maybe even walk around a town a bit more. I don't know if you've seen it, but Contradiction Spot the Liar, you can move around a bit more, and I like that kind of thing where you get clues and you have to find them, and you can do things that way rather than just asking people questions. And I don't want to spoil it too much for you, but there's a supernatural element to this. I mean, the fact that it's called the Shapeshifting Detective gives that away a bit, but it made it a little bit like you weren't sure if you could trust the clues from people to work out who the murderer was because of the supernatural element that might be in play, and you'll know what I mean when you play it yourself, if you play it yourself. But that's about it. Like, other than that, this was brilliant. The acting is excellent. It's really, really funny in places. There's some standout performances, but they're all good. They all do a good job, but there are, 3 or 4 of them are just so funny in it, like excellent. The guest house is a great location that they've used. It's nice and creepy, and it fits the game really well. The radio station is awesome. Poe and Monroe do an excellent job. They're the character names. They do an excellent job as the radio hosts, but also the radio station is good because it's got these little sort of dark stories played in the background now and again. And I read one of those, which is why I'm slightly biased, but they are really, really good, and they just, picked people who have supported them, or their favourite content creators and that kind of thing, people who Twitch stream and all that kind of stuff. They just picked a handful of us and said, look, do you want to read these things? And people said yes, and I said yes, and they let me read something for the game, so that's excellent in itself. And the amount of different clips and responses is phenomenal. It's a huge labour of love, and it's really paid off for them because it's just brilliant. all these different like quirks and ways of finding out different video responses. Lots of replay value for that reason. It's freaky, it's funny, it's dark, it's sexy. Like everything you'd want from an FMV game, this has it in like abundance. And I just love these, and I can't get enough of them, and I really hope they keep making more and more and more. And I think you definitely should check it out. I'm loving that they're giving new life to the FMV genre, and they deserve such high praise for that. So yeah, thank you to them for making this game, and I look forward to what they make next. So once again, my game of the year for 2018 is The Shapeshifting Detective. Feel free to watch my playthrough, but I urge you to go and get it yourself. It's not expensive, it's like the cost of a cinema trip, and that you get to sit down and watch once and have no participation. This you can watch as many times as you want, and you control the movie, so why wouldn't you want to do it? So happy new year guys, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting my channel as well. Bring on 2019, I'm looking forward to the games it brings, and yeah, here's to the new year. So guys, that about do it. Click like if you like that, make sure you're subscribed for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video. And until then, remember, you've got a game to be playing, go on, go get. Okay, bye. Guys, if you're still here, you're awesome! But as you are still here, why not check out some of my other videos? Oh, and if you haven't already, please click subscribe. Laters, haters.